What happens when you pick an insane Germany, an Austria that disregards every opening principle known to man, a France that is basically unbreakable, and an Italy that is a mute? He doesn't speak. Well, you get the craziest game that you've ever seen, and that I've ever seen. This was Blitz Game 10, a Blitz game played not so recently now on Web Diplomacy, at the beginning of this Blitz game wave. And by the way, go play there. In this game, I was France, and you aren't mentally prepared for what happens in this game. Let me just recall what happens in this fabulous, fantastic game that is gonna be a game for the ages. Okay, I'm France. I'm talking with my neighbors, of course. With Italy, no response whatsoever. Italy will not talk to me for half of the game, so I have no response if Piedmont, Gofrovnion, Western Med, and North Africa are actually DMZ'd or not. But talking with England, I propose an alliance, they say yes. I propose a DMZ in the English channel, and they agree. Talking with Germany, I propose an alliance with Germany against England, they agree with that, and then they ask for a DMZ in Burgundy. Unlike the other video that I published about how I countered unloyalists, in this case, I wasn't willing. This was a preceding game to that, and I wasn't willing to give Germany the Burgundy DMZ because I had a better feeling about England. I was mostly sure that the English Channel DMZ was not gonna get violated, so I say, nah, I want to move to Burgundy. Then Germany asks for Belgium, and also England asks if we can get Belgium in fall, and I say, we'll see, let's see the moves. So I decide to move Brest to Mid-Atlantic Ocean and to support Paris to Burgundy. This support is also to prevent any possible Italian shenanigans, because since I know nothing about Italy, because he doesn't respond to messages, I don't know if they're gonna move to Piedmont. If they do, I at least have the unit in Burgundy that can cover Marseille, with Marseille that can go to Spain, so I don't have to guess what to do with Marseille, which sometimes can happen if you move to Spain and you have an army in Piedmont and you don't know if you want to cover Marseille or just hold in Spain. So basically, Italy being a mute encourages my slightly anti-German opening, which pieces off Germany, which will ally with England, which will lead to Germany being insane, and will lead me to be friends with Austria, which is another madman. Look at Austria's moves. Austria is moving Vienna to Tyrolia, Budapest to Trieste, and Trieste to Adriatic Sea. Now, the Austrian player in this game is a very good player. I've played with him sometime after this game, so I know for a fact that he's not bad at all. And also in this game, he demonstrates that he understands tactics and strategy pretty well. So this is not just a crazy opening from a guy that has never played. Of course, he is going crazy, he is doing it for the memes, whatever, but it's also true that Italy doesn't respond to messages. So when Austria sees that Italy doesn't respond to their messages, which is the worst thing that Italy can do with Austria, Austria just goes anti-Italian. It says, if I'm going down, you're going down with me. It opens anti-Italian. Austria says to me that they want to take Venice, but since I'm now in Burgundy, they say, what if I violate other principles of openings in diplomacy and I actually go against Germany, and I also take Serbia from Trieste? So I take Serbia, I take Munich. Can you support me into Munich? And since I have trust in England, I say, you know what, Austria? Sure, I support you into Munich. Who cares? And they say, Austria says that if I get them in Munich, I will be their best friend. And this is the start of a love story between France and Austria, one like no other, because usually France and Austria don't cooperate this much in a game, but Austria was frankly the player. I had as much press with Austria as with England and Germany, or even more, so imagine what's gonna happen. So yeah, I'm gonna support Tyrolia to Munich. I'm gonna take Spain and Portugal, and hope that England is on my side because I'm choosing to help someone against Germany. What happens is that Germany supports England into Belgium, while I support Tyronia into Munich. On the other hand, the Austrian fleet is now into Ionian Sea, which is amazing, and they also take Serbia. Unfortunately, Austria loses Budapest. So as you can see, the north is pretty normal, but the south is completely abnormal. And Russia asks me, what's going on in your side of the board? And I say, mostly normal things, unlike yours. But unfortunately, this is the start of an England-Germany alliance. Germany, seeing that I betrayed him, I supported Tyronia into Munich, jumps on the English wagon, even though they probably already did before that, because you can see that they're supporting England in Belgium. The only reason to give that support is to avoid me getting Belgium. So this means that Germany is not on my side, but England could be, but their build says it all. They build Fleet Liverpool and Fleet London, and Fleet Liverpool just means, you know, France, I'm going to attack you. Fortunately, I somewhat saw this coming, and I also built the fleet in Brest, but also an army in Paris, because I think that it's going to be a double attack from Germany and England at the same time. So I try to convince England not to do this and to focus on Germany. England is not convinced by my pleas. So I say, okay, come and get me. I will defend as best I can. With Germany, this is the beginning of a story of me trying to convince Germany to turn on England. But Germany goes insane and decides, you know what, I'm going to be an English puppet for the whole game. In the public press, at a certain point, England becomes so powerful that I try pleading with the other players to convince Germany to stop aiding England without any reason whatsoever other than revenge against me. We all agree that Germany has become the most English German that you've ever seen. So we have Austria in Munich. I'm going to support Munich, and they say that I'll be their double best friend if I do. And I'm also preparing for a war against England and potentially Germany if Germany comes for me in the Ruhr Burgundy area. We see that England and Germany don't know how to cooperate very well in Burgundy because they support each other in Burgundy, so neither of them takes Burgundy. On the other hand, Munich stays Austrian, and I'm mobilizing my units against them. While Austria, unfortunately, loses Trieste, but regains Budapest at least temporarily. And Russia is also going against Turkey. So Russia is capitalizing on Austria's and Turkey's, mostly Austria's strange moves to go against them both and try to become the most dominant southern power when Italy does Italy things. Also, England is siding against Russia, and at this point I start sending to Russia requests of aid. Russia is the only one that can actually do something to help me, so I try to ask Russia to comment me in some way, and they will try, but they will not have an easy time doing that. So in 1902, I say to Austria, why don't you move Munich to Berlin, and I move Burgundy to Munich. If that were to work, you get Berlin and I get Munich. If it doesn't work, you get Berlin anyway, even if I don't, because Munich is difficult to defend for me because Belgium can tap Burgundy and Ruhr-Kien can take Munich. They say yes, they get into Berlin, I get bounced out of Munich, thanks also to the Russian unit in Baltic Sea that taps Kien, so Kien can't support Ruhr to Munich. And so this Germany is going to have two Austrian centers, Munich and Berlin. This is very early for that. It's just 1902. So this is real fun. On the other hand, Austria is losing Trieste and Budapest. They were not able to maintain it. Anyway, on the English front, my defense is proving stern. I'm defending from a possible attack both in Mid-Atlantic Ocean and English Channel, which works, and England again does not advance against me. At the end, England is becoming very strong. Having gained Sweden from Russia, they build another fleet in Liverpool, ready to triple up in North Atlantic Ocean, Irish Sea, and English Channel against me. And I have only two fleets, so eventually they will prevail against me. On the other hand, Germany is forced to destroy another unit, and they destroy Holland, which advantages England. Now, you don't have to think that I was anti-German whole this game. I was trying to convince Germany to do something to help me against England, and I was promising them that I wouldn't do anything anti-German if they did. But since they always refused, I kept attacking Germany and doing stuff against Germany. So my helping Austria is also secondary to Germany's unwillingness to help me. They say that they're dead if they attack England, that basically they're willing to let England win or something like that. They're acting more or less like a loyalist to England, but not because they're actually a Care Bear, just because they don't see any other way to change sides. And amazingly, Austria gets to build in Vienna thanks to their capture of Berlin. So now I'm keeping pressure, but England is coming, forcing themselves into English Channel and in North Atlantic Ocean. They have 3 fleets against my 2. Also, since I bounced Belgium out of Burgundy and used Burgundy to move to Munich with the help of Berlin, Munich stays Austrian. So basically I told Austria, hey, support me into Munich, and if it works, well, if it doesn't, good for you. So yeah, but Austria loses Vienna. No, actually they don't. They support it. They don't even try to take Warsaw, they support Vienna. So yeah, Austria is doing amazing considering the strange situation. You have to understand that Italy is doing quite well, even though they're not speaking to anyone. So this is amazing. The only reason for that is the Austrian opening, of course. But the reason for the Austrian opening was Italy not speaking to them. So it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. And Russia is advancing against Turkey. At the same time, we see that finally England cracks me in Mid-Atlantic Ocean, forcing me to retreat somewhere. And at this point, Germany is still doing stuff against me. They tap Burgundy, cuts the support in Belgium, but I wouldn't have taken that anyway. But at the same time, I protect Burgundy so I don't get a German unit in Burgundy. So my defense, it's 1903, and Germany and England haven't been able to do anything against me, mostly thanks to Austria bothering the German and having Munich and Berlin. But now they lose Berlin. I decided to retreat into Portugal, which is a good center for me. On this time, I'm talking with England, I'm saying, good game, getting Germany so firmly on your side. I have no reason to tell you that you're doing anything wrong, but please stop attacking me. And they say, let me read it to you. So basically with England, I said, hey, North feelings, you're doing great. I'm gonna lose this war. And he says, what are you proposing? And I say, no idea, you got me. What are your terms of surrender? Then he says, Portugal. And I say, that's like the last center I wanna give up, because Portugal is the most secure center in the map. Never give up Portugal. If you can choose to stay in whatever place, stay in Portugal. Or maybe like some centers on the stalemate line, in a situation in which the stalemate line has to be kept. But Portugal is the best center on the map. And I say, stop Germany, it's way faster than attack me. Holland and Denmark are for sure yours. He says maybe in the form, and I also propose a possible vassalage for England. At the same time, I'm warning Germany that England is going to stab them, but Germany just says that they have no intention of ever doing anything against England, because, you know, they don't see any way to do that. And I say, you're giving this game to England, but by doing this, I'm not actually doing anything against you, so please stop. Austria, all things considered, it's not in a bad situation. I mean, they have Munich, Vienna, Budapest, and Serbia. Italy has an amazing position considering that they're gunboating, and Russia is crushing Turkey. So at this point, Germany retakes Munich because my support in Munich is cut, but they evacuate Berlin, so Munich could retreat into Berlin. Also, I start to go back to try to defend better against England. I move Picardy to Brest. Brest supported into Mid-Atlantic Ocean, which forces Mid-Atlantic Ocean to retreat somewhere, and Gascony supports Picardy to Brest. The retreats are interesting because Mid-Atlantic Ocean retreats to Western Med, which is south of Spain, which is a border for me, but it's also bordering Tunis, which is completely unprotected, so England now can take Tunis without any obstacle. At the same time, Austria decides to retreat into Bohemia instead of Berlin. I say to Austria, why didn't you retreat into Berlin? F this Germany. let's make their life difficult, but they say that basically they want to have a shot of defending their home centers now, so they're retreating from Germany. So the Austrian-Germany parenthesis is almost over for now. While Russia is about to get home of Turkey, which is amazing. Russia is doing amazing thanks to mostly Austria's shenanigans and Italy not speaking to anyone. But England is still, at this point, I think, the stronger power, because they can slowly but surely take every coastal aspect of the north, while Russia doesn't have such an easy growth in the east. And now England stabs Germany, taking Holland and Denmark as expected. While I'm doing a complicated maneuver to defend anything, I am supporting Mid-Atlantic Ocean with Portugal so that their two fleets cannot take it. And I'm also self-bouncing with Brest and Gascony in Spain so that Spain is protected, convoying Brest to Spain. This means that Brest is defending Spain and Brest at the same time. And also moving Burgundy to Picardy because I don't want Belgium to move to Picardy, and because now it seems that I thought that I had convinced Germany to do something against England, but they didn't. They moved all out against Russia in Livonia, just in time to get stabbed for 2 centers. And after taking Tunis, Holland and Denmark, I had negotiated with England that if they moved English Channel to somewhere else, I would start moving my fleets back. But they built 3 fleets, one of them in Liverpool, which is crazy. And first of all, too many fleets. But it makes sense in a time-limited game. In a non-time-limited game, this would severely hinder England's ability to solo. But since England is not trying to solo, they're trying to just board up, it can make sense. The problem is that I can't really go back with Mid-Atlantic Ocean as they ask if they have Liverpool. Also, they're insanely strong. They have already Tunis that's beyond the stalemate line. This is crazy. Germany finally says, okay, I'm sorry, I messed up, I helped England way too much for no reason. Let's try to stop England from winning this game. And I say, okay. I think around this point, by the way, Italy went in civil disorder and we got a new Italy, and new Italy was talkative. So now we have a new Italy with which I'm saying, hey, we're friends, don't worry about it, I'm not gonna come for you, please don't come for me. Anyway, just to be sure, I'm moving Gascony to Marseille because we have an army in Piedmont and I don't want to lose Marseille in any way. I am holding the Mid-Atlantic Ocean, and England sends me this message. It says, one job, because my one job was to retreat Mid-Atlantic Ocean back to Spain or something like that, according to our plan. And I say, you keep lying to me and you pretend I should do anything to you. I meant for you. So basically, they are still telling me that I lied to them because I didn't move Mid-Atlantic Ocean back, but they're moving Liverpool to Irish Sea and London to English Channel, both supported moves. But they still say, hey, you betrayed me. I mean, he keeps lying to me every single turn. He keeps saying that they will leave me alone, but they never will. Of course, seeing this position, who would? But then they say, yeah, you had one job. You had to retreat with Mid-Atlantic Ocean and you didn't. You're a liar. Yeah. Anyway, people are just absurd in this game. Anyway, at this point, I am communicating with Germany. Germany seems finally to have surpassed their care-bearing phase. They want to do something against this huge England. But I realize that England has 4 fleets around me. I really need another fleet. I really need it. So I'm thinking, yeah, I need to move Burgundy to Munich. It's the only way I can get a build, and that build needs to be a fleet. Germany's units are pretty useless to me, and honestly, Germany doesn't deserve me to be loyal to them after all this time that they just were accomplices in England's growth. So, and everyone agreed on that. Russia, Austria, they all agreed that Germany was just insane, and they decided to be a complete English puppet for the home game without any particular reason. I didn't even want Germany to side with me. I just didn't want Germany to help England. But they still did, even if they didn't get anything out of it, and they lost Denmark and Holland at the first opportune moment. But to be sure, I have yet to lose anything. It's been 5 years now, and England and Germany have not taken anything from me. Now I'm gonna get Munich. I asked Austria if they want to give me support into Munich. Austria says no, because they're supporting Silesia to Warsaw. And I say fine, but you could do both, because you can use Galicia to support, they're supporting Prussia to Warsaw, and they could use Galicia to support Prussia to Warsaw and use Bohemia to support Burgundy to Munich. And Austria starts saying, you know what? Yes, you're right, I can do both, but why don't you support me back into Munich? So Austria wants to go back to Munich. This is the only time in the home game I say no. I say no, I need the fleet. I need to bring the fleet. The whole point of this is bringing a fleet in Brest. If you get Munich, I don't get anything. It's not even useful at all to me. And they say that England is a land power now, also, so it would be better to have more Austrian units. I completely disagree. England has only one army, the starting army of the game. In Holland, England has chosen to be only a naval power, so no, this doesn't make sense. I refused with Austria, and since they didn't want to give me support, and I was the only holdout now that still had to ready the orders, I readied the orders just in case Austria was thinking about moving Bohemia to Munich anyway and bounce me, and I take Munich. I get into Munich. At the same time, I am losing Mid-Atlantic Ocean, but I self-bounced in Brest. That means, since I didn't receive any hostile support from England, that I will be able to bring in Brest. Also, I held in Marseille because I still have an army in Piedmont and no one is making sense in this game. And finally, at least, England is losing Tunis, and I'm moving Spain to Western Med to avoid an English retreat there. Not to attack Italy, but just to avoid that England can retreat there. From England's point of view, it is less useful to be in North Africa than in Western Med. I immediately apologized with Germany for taking Munich, but I explained that I needed the fleet, and they say it's fine. Can you support me with that army in Munich? And this is the beginning of a new friendship between me and Germany. After having hated each other for the whole game, and me screaming at them to stop being an English puppet, and they hating me and being an English puppet because of that one support to Austria in 1901, now we finally are together, and I start supporting Kiel, or supporting their moves in any way from Kiel to Berlin and stuff like that, every single turn of the game. At the end of the game, he will confess that he would have never imagined to be glad to see a French unit in Munich. And they said that that French unit in Munich did Germany more good than any German army in the whole game. At the same time, I'm ready to defend against England. They lost a fleet they decided to lose in North Africa. That fleet, I am pressing England to stop attacking me and focus on Russia, but they're not listening at this point. So I support Kiel so that England can get in. I use my units in smart ways because I have an unbreakable defense as France. It's incredible that I have lasted 6 years against more powerful opponents without ever losing a single center and actually gaining Munich. At this point, Russia emerges, taking Sweden, supporting Germany into Denmark. I get into Mid-Atlantic Ocean, and after being so huge, the board unites and England is immediately repelled and destroys two fleets. Two fleets that are working to me, because after the small parentheses, now Russia has emerged as the eastern giant. They have taken Budapest, Serbia, the whole Balkan region, Turkey. They're basically unbreakable in the south, and they're invading the north. They're now in Sweden. They're gonna take Norway and stuff like that. So after the English panic, we now have to unite against Russia, and we do. England destroys the fleets bordering me, and they say, hey, please don't attack me. I will focus on Russia. If you attack me, I will throw to Russia. Actually, move your fleet towards Italy, because otherwise I will throw to Russia anyway. And they say, oh God, I'm not gonna attack you, and I'm glad that you destroyed those fleets, but don't ask me to move against Italy, or they will throw. So I explained to Italy the situation. Italy says, okay, I want to believe you, because it was the truth, fortunately. So I do move my fleets towards Italy, and Italy does believe me more or less that I want to snipe Tunis, and this was because of English paranoia. I'm still defending Kiev. Austria is trying to do something, but it's not doing much, because they still can't trust Italy, Italy still can't trust Austria, and Russia keeps growing like a madman. So at this point, I start discussing with Germany and Austria what to do. Germany says that they want support in Berlin, or actually they want to move Berlin to Baltic Sea to bounce the unit in Bosnia. So they ask me, hey, why don't you use Munich to support Kiev to Berlin, because Berlin is moving to Baltic Sea. And Austria at the same time is saying, hey, why don't you move Munich to Bohemia so you can actually do something against Russia and move Burgundy to Munich. And I agree more with Austria than with Germany. And I say, why don't you support your strength in Berlin? And they say, no, because I want to move Berlin, which is a mess. So basically, I had to support Kiev to Berlin. At the last second, Germany is convinced by my words and says, you know what, okay, fine, move to Bohemia, I support myself, I'm not moving to Baltic. I say, yes, finally. I also moved to Picardy, which is, England strangely sends me a message, hey, move to Belgium. And I say, why? It's 1907, why are you giving me Belgium? And they say, no, I didn't mean move to Belgium, I meant stay in Brest. And I don't stay in Brest, I move to Picardy. And now we have what England called a prisoner's dilemma, in which they don't know if I'm going to go for Belgium or not, because the game is ending, so I want to get more centers. At the same time, at the end of 1907, I am in Bohemia, and after all this time, Austria and I have to discuss again what to do, and we discussed that the best move is getting Bohemia to Galicia, supported by Vienna, while Munich is supporting Berlin. And I'm moving my fleets towards Tunis now, because I want to try to take Tunis. I won't be able to, because Ionian is in place, and I won't be able to take Tunis. They can just bounce me. They don't care of losing Tyrrhenian Sea, because the game is gonna end. I am supporting Belgium, but I am going to try for Belgium. It's not gonna work. England says, I don't know if you're gonna try to for Belgium, but please keep supporting Germany keep supporting Berlin. I say, yes, of course I will. The main objective is try to lessen Russia's growth, which is the result of all this madness in this game. But at the same time, I want to gain something. So I can't gain Belgium for sure, because they will just have the fleet stay there. I can't gain Tunis because Ionian Sea will bounce me. I can't get anything else. I am though in Galicia now. I am in Galicia, and what can I do in Galicia? I can try to go to Warsaw, but that can be stopped. I can try to go to Romania, but that can be stopped. The best shot I have is going to Budapest with 2 Austrian supports. And I arranged that with Austria. And let me read you my messages with Austria in the last season. First of all, look at how much press. He says, first impression of Army Galicia, and I say, I want to take Budapest with your support, if you want to give it. I think 1 less dot to Russia, more points for both of us. And he says, alright, I'll put it in. Then, and I thank him, then he say, why can't you support me to Budapest? And I say best friends until the end. I told you, it was a love story bit, or a bromance, if you prefer, with between me and Austria. And I say, because my support can be cut. And he says, yeah, but it can be cut. Will it be cut? And I say, because I'm selfish as F, just F. And he says, fair enough on the second one. Oh, I mean, guys, better to be honest in diplomacy at this point. I want Budapest because I'm selfish, and also because it can be cut. Spoilers, it will be cut. Silesia is going to move to Galicia, so expecting that I would support Austria into Budapest, Russia is going to cut Galicia actually. So it's good that we didn't do what Austria wanted. So he agrees to support Galicia into Budapest, and I declare my love to them. It wasn't the first time that we declared our love to each other in the press. He said, I loved you since your weird opening, takes comically exaggerated bow, and then he realizes that Italy can take Trieste, so he doesn't know what to do, if they want to protect Trieste or support me. And I just say, tell me what you're gonna do. And he says, go to Budapest anyway, it's your best shot. I support with Trieste. So they're probably just supporting Trieste with Vienna and giving me one support, which can be easily countered by Serbia supporting Budapest, for example, or other stuff. I'm also supporting Berlin, of course. I did ask Russia for help for this game when I was on the back foot against England. I didn't mean that they needed to come full force to conquer the world. I just wanted some help, Russia. Damn man, calm down. So I'm gonna move to Budapest. I am going to do other moves in Tunis and Belgium and protecting Germany, of course, but the move to Budapest is the great question. And what happens? It works. It works. Not only it works, Germany gets Holland. I don't get Belgium, I don't get Tunis, but I get Budapest with Austria's support. This is great. And Galicia was being tapped, and Warsaw and Romania were being covered. The only move that they didn't protect for was this one. Galicia to Budapest, supported by an Austrian unit. It is amazing. So, in this game, at the end of this game, we have French Budapest. The craziest thing that I ever saw, probably, in a diplomacy board, and a fitting end to a crazy, crazy game in which Germany was an insane English puppet for most of it, but then ended up appreciating the help that a French unit in Munich gave them, and we ended up as friends somehow. A very strong English that tried to break my defenses, but ultimately couldn't. Mute Italian that didn't speak to anyone, starting the chain of events that caused all of this. An Austrian that was my best friend and the enemy of every opening strategist of diplomacy, and a really, really strong Russia that actually played a normal game and won this game in first place with 12 centers. I was in second with 7, and I consider myself a winner just because, and I gained some points anyway, but just because I managed to resist the EG and do this crazy stuff in this game. First place was not the thing that I wanted. I wanted this ending. I mean, to be fair, have you ever seen a more beautiful final board in diplomacy? I mean, Budapest is blue. Anyway, so this was the craziest game of all time. I thank everyone. Special thanks to my best friend from the beginning, Austria, and my second best friend, frenemy, someone that I despised for some of the game and then loved, Germany. And see you next time for a more usual game.